Hi, my name is Terry Lynch. I'm the CEO of Power Nickel. We're developing the Knits Nickel Sulfide Project in Damascus, Quebec.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Matthew.
I know I've come to your part of the world.
Yeah. Did you bring your winter parka?
I did not. I left England when it was 30 degrees. Yeah. I didn't think it through, and I rocked up with a shirt. What you see is what you get.
Oh, yeah, so there you go.
Freezing. Absolutely freezing. Hey, look, we're at this conference, the event of the North in Quebec City. It's looking busy out there already, and it's early morning.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's... the ground is gurgling. You know, it hasn't come through to the market yet, but it will at some point. But the industry is certainly active.
Well, the industry is certainly active, and so is government. We're seeing a few U.S. representatives.
They've been unbelievable.
Yeah. And they're interested in finding out who's who at the zoo for the first time in a long while.
Yeah, I was in New York about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had some at the Society of Metal Analysts meeting, and happened to have some drinks with the Chief of Staff of the Department of Energy.
Okay, get
the
you.
U.S. Yeah, no kidding. But it was interesting, you know, to see, you know, I mean, they're basically, you know, committing up to 50%, you know, in loans and guarantees and whatnot on projects down in the States, and they're certainly open to, in this case, Canadian projects. So if you're in the critical mineral space,
right,
there's you know, appetite for them to participate. And then, of course, the Canadian and Quebec governments have come through with some amazing programs, right? Federally, a 30% tax credit to build and equip a mine, and potentially up to 25%. So we've got to say the government's done their thing. Now it's time for the market to do its thing. So that's the key.
Yeah, I think there's a slight lag in understanding, because again, I think with the IRS kind of kicked it off, the Inflation Reduction Act kind of kicked that off. There's a lot of money being distributed upstream, or should I say downstream, into industry.
Yeah.
I think the miners are now kind of putting their hand up and go, hey, you need the supply chain to work. You got to be dishing some money out to the miners.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it was unfortunate timing with the regional banking crisis. These budget moves were lost, you know, and then, you know, how Wall Street and Bay Street are, as if it didn't impact the market, then it can't be important. But I think, you know, gradually, as you talk to people are starting to realize, I think at some point that penny will drop and there'll be a major surge, because it's certainly bottoming out right now.
Well, it's bottoming out, but nickel price is seeing a little uptick here.
A little uptick.
It's been down for the last 12 months, bit of pressure out of China, and obviously still legacy issues around supply chain issues. So, but nickel is on everyone's lips, along with it, most kind of EV metals. So I'm interested in how you're going to take advantage of it. We've been talking a while.
Yep.
You've evolved. The story has evolved, and the last year has been quite good to you through the drill bit.
Yeah, thanks God. You know, if you're going to have anything in mining, that's the one thing you want working for you. You can take bad markets, but you can't take bad drill results. You know, so we've had really spectacular results, and I think it's just touched the surface. You know, we had that amazing step out hole 5 kilometers down the way, and 8 meters of 1 ounce PGMs is like, hello. You know? So it's been exciting that way. So nickel market wise, I think, you know, we sort of see it in the short term as sort of being flat, you know, for the next year or so. Somewhere in this trading range, probably of $9 to $11. But, you know, after that, I mean, you saw BHP's announcement, a week or 10 days ago, they're saying by 2030, they need 4 times as much nickel. That's BHP. Yeah. I mean, that was like, hello, that's a big number. Well, we're never going to get there, but it's a big number.
I think, see, that's I guess that's the thing everyone's saying, is the fact that the demand is requesting a lot more nickel than exists in production terms today. We're not quite sure where it's coming from, and we need the ability to be able to finance these things. So people in big projects, your project, quite good grades. It helps. Yeah. So when you're out there talking to, you did a financing recently, it didn't seem too onerous in terms of getting to that point. What were you saying to investors?
Basically saying, look, you know, the ore body is going to be big, and it's going to...
How do you know that? Why are you saying?
Well, you know, we've had just a number of good drill results stepping out, so we know that first pod is going to be, you know, pretty significant. It'll make it commercial enough that you'll have like 100,000 contained tons in that, I think. And then it's like we've stepped out several directions and hit more grade, you know, and it looks... we just did an airborne EM over it, and that lit up like a Christmas tree. So... and then we stepped out 5 kilometers away and had that big result. So it looks to us it gets all connected. So we think it's going to be a very big connected ore body, and with multiple pods, and I don't know, somewhere between 20 and 50 million tons, which is a very sizable nickel.
You seem to have had a lot of credit for that. I mean, that's quite a brave step out, 5 kilometers.
Yeah, I got to give credit to the team. They spotted it. They saw the ultramafic at surface. It was a winter target. It was a bit marshy. And they said, hey, what do you think about throwing a hole down there? And I said, well, hey, let's take a shot. Let's not go too deep, but let's see what we got there. And 60 meters, that's when we hit it. So I think it just shows you, I mean, that's what you see in Norilsk, and that's what you saw at Raglan. You see that pooling up top, and super high grade, and super bullish from my perspective. Of course, the stock went down 20% that day, as it does.
But that's what I mean. You kind of being brave in moments like this is really, really important. Now you can't go and blow you can't blow the value of the company by raising expensive money.
Right.
But at the same time, you need to kind of get on with stuff. You've always been sort of raising a little bit here, a little bit there. You've gone for, what'd you end up with, 4.5?
4.8.
4.8, right, okay. So I guess the question is, what do you do? So that's got to have a return.
Yeah, so basically, I think the next step for us is strategic. We're obviously, one of the challenges you get when you're a nano-cap small miner is people don't believe you, they don't respect you, they haven't heard of you, and that's understandable. That's the way of it. So having an outside party come in that is credible is huge, and is that's their business, and they've done it a lot of times. And when they invest, it sort of like says, well, maybe this guy wasn't crazy. Maybe this thing is really worth looking at. So I suspect that's what'll happen. We're advanced discussions on stuff like that. That would be helpful for us to move it towards. We think we'll be moving towards like doing a feasibility study like very quickly, which sounds crazy as hell, but that's what the major wants to do. So
okay, and I guess that balance sheet can bear the brunt of that. It's kind of interests me that the way that different small companies, microcap companies, have had to either adapt to the economic situation, the lack of equity interest.
Yeah.
They kind of either change plan, change tack, hunker down, offload parts of their portfolio, or indeed, getting a strategic is in. So why do you think strategic makes sense now versus kind of waiting till this uptick in nickel continues?
Yeah, I think it's all about structuring. So we structured it so that their pricing isn't all day one. It's over a blended period of, say, 6 months. So we hope that the market has done some things in 6 months. We think by just doing something with somebody like this, that it will set the stage. Mm-hmm. We know our 43101's coming out in the into Q3. That'd probably be a milestone moment for us. And then we're doing some pretty interesting geophysical techniques that will, I think, show demonstrably the size. That's coming.
Is that going well?
Yeah, they're just deploying it this week. We were held up for about 10 days by the fires. Yeah. But we're rolling it out now, and we expect that'll be exciting. So, and then we did the airborne EM. That was pretty interesting. So we think there's a number of positive catalysts coming, but we also need to, as you say, get on, move it on. And it's like, they're interested now, and it's like, it's always the dance, but we feel it's going to be a productive move forward for us.
You kind of forget how, with mining, it's tough. There's bumps along. You had the fires last year, fires this year. You've had COVID. You got supply chain issues. You got inflation happening. And
nothing easy about this.
No, it's like, but you get the market does not get credit for it in the equities because they expect it to be kind of a nice smooth sailing.
Yeah.
And
then you got the people that think that they should trade these things, and it's like, guys, I mean, maybe you trade around a core position, but when I talk to investors, I'm saying, if you don't think this thing can go up 10 times, you should move along. Yeah, you're not investing in this to make 10 or 20% and clip it in 2 weeks. That's not the move. Buy Google, buy Apple. They trade a lot more liquidity.
Well, they have.
So it's like that would be the way to go. But I think the great thing about mining right now, there's a number of great companies, I think ours included, that are the value proposition is pretty evident. And you're buying at the very bottom of the risk cycle, and it's like a lot of the heavy lifting risk has been exposed, and you can sort of evaluate it, and you can see which ones potentially could. And if you have a basket of those, I think you're just going to kill it.
Well, yeah, I think the big moment for you in terms of properly de-risking it. 43-101 comes out, and if you are talking the game of getting a strategic on board, that's a validation that you couldn't pay for.
Great.
Frankly.
Yeah.
But nickel on everyone's lips. Hope you take advantage of it this year, and great to see you.
Good to see you, Matthew. Cheers.
Man.